Hey guys, Ray from HaloviewRV.com, and I'm kind of finalizing the last bits and pieces before our trip south. And one thing I'm going to do is install this new backup camera for the back of the Cougar. If you remember 2 years ago, I think it was, I installed the Taddy Brothers backup camera system, and I was pretty happy with that. It had a good signal and allowed me to see everything that was going on behind the rig. I didn't really use it much for backing up, but I loved it for a rear view while we were going down the highways. So now that we got the new truck, I thought it was a good time to take this company called Haloview up on their offer of sending out a free system for me to install and review. The reason I want to switch, I'm fairly happy with the Taddy Brothers, but this has a couple features that I'm really intrigued with. One of them is video recording. So you can put a little SD card in this, a little flash card, and it'll record whatever's happening back there, which could be really handy in case of an accident or something. And also the panel on it is this IPS panel, which nice spelling. Anyway, that means you can look at it from all angles. You know, a lot of the LCDs, if you're off a bit, they're pretty blurry. And also it has it's supposed to have a little better resolution, you know, 2 years of technology. So let's take it apart and see what's in this kit. This is the MC7108, which is supposed to be the latest, greatest, highest resolution one. So we have a little card with all the specs. Looks like it does 720p HD resolution and 120-degree viewing angle. Owner's manual. There we go. So it looks like we got the display here. Let me peel everything out of there. Lots of bits and pieces. So here's the camera. It'll sit on the back of my RV. So it looks like I'll be able to use the same mount I had before. It's much the same type of camera there, and it's a metal case. Looks pretty well constructed. I can see it has some LEDs in there for nighttime viewing, and then it goes into the rig and needs to find 12 volts DC somewhere. Now I'll be able to utilize my existing 12 volt supply that I had for the previous backup camera, but I'll show you that when I install it, how I'd wired that, or you can go look up my old video. I'll put that in a link in the description. So that's the camera that you mount and power, and then we got the display. So that's pretty nice. Okay, and has a little hood on it, block out sunshine. There's a couple ways to mount it on the dash, or you could mount it on the ceiling. With this would go on there. I think I'm going to use this little thing here. Looks like they include a nice adjustable mount. I've got plans for that. And then antennas. You get your antenna for the camera, and you got an antenna for the display itself, because it speaks to each other wirelessly. And it's quoting on here that it can do 984 feet. So I'll have to put that to the test. And as far as hooking the display into the truck, I'm going to go with a lighter socket here. I'll just plug in. It's got a lighter socket plug there with an on-off switch. That's one thing I'll have to show you with the new truck. I got so many accessory items there, I had to buy a little splitter and plan my mounting all these items on the dash. Another accessory they leave you is this, if you want to hardwire it into your vehicle, and it even has trigger wires. The thing can run up to 4 cameras at one time, so you can trigger different cameras on. Say you go to back up, it triggers a camera. You put on a turn signal, it'll trigger a different camera. You know, so it's up to you how you like to do that. But I'm just going to keep it simple right now because I just want mine as a rear view camera. So let's first go hook up the backup camera onto the rig here. So here's my old camera mounted right in the center of the very back of the Cougar roof. And I had installed a junction box because I had a cell antenna as well, so I had a couple different wires going into the rig just to keep the water out and everything and make a nice tidy install. So I've just taken that off. I also had mounted my weather station on the top of the lid of the junction box, so that's what that's all about. Okay, so I'm just doing a test setup here. I've plugged the new camera into the old plug. First I took my multimeter and tested things out just to make sure it was the right polarity, and actually it worked out great. It's the same polarity, center pin is positive and the outside connector is negative. So we'll go inside and we'll turn on this new camera, and then we'll plug in the display and just do a quick test, see what it looks like. Give you a quick look at my previous install where it came down through the roof there. You can see the power wire for the camera and the white antenna cable that goes over and plugs into my WeBoost cell booster. And it comes around here, and this is where I plug in my backup camera. So I just plug it in when we're ready to leave, and it just powers the camera while we're going. Then I can just unplug it when we get to a spot, just so it's not drawing energy. And just for a quick test, this is a 12-volt plug-in inside my RV, and this is the cable they provide. So this would just be like your 12-volt power cigarette lighter in your truck. And we'll just turn her on here and see what we get. There we go. So I have to say I'm thoroughly impressed with that picture versus the older one. The older one I complained about color saturation being off and kind of a pinkish hue to the picture, which is fine for a backup camera, but this one is really nice. You can see that truck coming in there, and the sharpness is a lot more too. So, and you can also see up here right now I'm actually recording. That's a little recordable thing at the top. Right here is a little slot where I put my SD card in. So I'm all happy with that. So next step will be to install this into the truck and give it a distance test here. Okay, so just use the same screws as before, mounted in the exact same spot, ran the wire in here, connected it up. Oh, working okay. So I just got to kind of tidy up the wires, remount my lid and weather station, and then I can go and re-goop everything again with some Dicor lap sealant, and I should be good to go out here. Here we go. Command Central in the new truck. Trying to keep everything below the hood line so nothing's blocking me. This is where my GPS is mounted. Got a special little mounting bracket that a guy was kind enough to send me. He had a spare, wasn't using it anymore, and it mounts right in this little area where it's sort of meant for the RAM. So that's the Garmin GPS. And then, like I said, I put this on the beanbag of the Garmin, made a mount there. So that's where my backup camera is going to be. I have my tire monitor over to the side, and then we also have the backup camera here, and then I got like a splitter for the three different cords. So it's kind of nice because I can take everything off if I want, easily unplug everything and remove it from the dash, and it's like it wasn't even there. And then I have one cord coming down to the power outlet. Let's turn it on, see how it... Get some signal there. There we go. Looking good. Looks like I have about 2 bars. I just pulled in front of the trailer here. See what kind of signal strength I'm going to have, but it looks like I got 1, 2, 3 bars on the camera there. A really nice display on there. Good color, good sharpness. Looks like it's going to be good, but driving down the road I'll be able to look over there and see what's behind me pretty easy. Kind of don't like that antenna, but there's not much you can do. I'll have to see what the signal strength's like. I might be able to fold it down a bit out of the way or something. Might even get a better signal. We can play around with the orientation of that. But yeah, I kind of like that. There we go. Cool. Let's just drive around in behind there and let us see us approaching the camera. Ooh, what a pretty truck. That looks pretty good. Pretty good. Gonna like that. Here's a closer look at what I did with the beanbag there. This thing had 3M tape on the back, so I just took apart my beanbag and stuck it on there. I think it's gonna work out good. You can see it's pretty easy for me to get rid of everything and go and hide it out of sight in there. Kind of get rid of it off the dash so if we're in a sketchy area, park somewhere, we don't have a bunch of stuff look right out in the open. I don't know, I'll probably end up doing something different here. This is sort of the time being before I decide, but I'll probably take this apart at some point, find some 12 volt power, and then come up through here, and I can just have a few lines coming out there, kind of clean it up so I won't have so many wires and stuff. Anyway, I think that's going to be a good camera. So what I'll do is to come back in a few weeks after we've traveled south, probably 1,000 miles or so, and usually we go down the coast, so we're going to go through a lot of torrential rainstorms and stuff, so that'll give the old camera up there a good test. It's supposed to be IP69K, which is supposed to be about as waterproof as you can get. So I'm hoping we don't get any water intrusion there. And also test how the signal is. My Taddy Brothers one was pretty solid on the road. Sometimes in heavy urban areas it would black out because it runs on 2.4 gigahertz, which is kind of a common signal for a lot of Wi-Fi stuff to work on. So anyway, stay tuned. Until next time, Ray from LoveyRV.com. Happy trails, everyone. Cheers.